So hi everyone, thanks for joining Fit for Fashion TV's very first Google Hangouts. I'm really excited to be here with two of our awesome judges, two of our guest episode recap partners, and two of our top fans. So with only one episode left, I'm sure everyone has a ton of questions and can't wait to see what happens in the finale and who will be the winner of season 1 of Fit for Fashion. So before we start, I just want to establish some ground rules. There'll be no profanity, inappropriate behavior, or questions. If there's any behavior that I think is inappropriate, you'll be kicked out. And of course, the judges have the right not to answer any question that they don't feel comfortable answering. Okay, so with that being said, let me formally introduce our judges. So first up, we have our resident fashion photographer, Todd Anthony Tyler. Todd's a celebrity fashion photographer who is highly recognized in Asia and the rest of the world. He started off as a highly sought-after male model before pursuing his lifelong love affair with photography. And last, and last but not least, we've got Mitch Chilson. Mitch is not only a trainer and a coach, but he's also a two-time martial combat MMA champion, also known as the Dragon. So Mitch has an all-round skills in fitness, physical health, mentoring, and professional competition, making him the perfect all-round coach on Fit for Fashion. So unfortunately, Lou and Christine couldn't be with us today due to a scheduling conflict, but they send us their love and is with us in spirit. So now I'd like to introduce you guys to two of our guest bloggers who are also our episode recap partners. First up, we have Charles Kuryawan from Indonesia. Charles is currently a senior year film student in Indonesia and is also a blogger. He mostly does movie reviews, but he does a bit of movie reviews, but his posts are mainly recaps of his favorite TV shows, Fit for Fashion being one of them. And our second guest blogger is Jed Revolucia, who's also from Indonesia. Jed is an author and blogger currently living in Indonesia. So Jed and Charles, could you maybe just test your mic by saying something, saying a few words right now? Charles, is that you?
Yeah.
Your connection is...
I'm talking to a computer.
Yeah, sounds a bit robotic. So Charles, maybe later you can try to speak again. If not, you might need to use the chat to ask your questions. I think connection in Indonesia is a bit spotty. So just now it was working fine when we were on it, but now I guess it's decided to not work. All right. So last but definitely not least, we have two of our lucky top fans who've been chosen to join us tonight. We have the Lone Traveler, also known as Noel Avarintos from the Philippines. He's also having some issues joining us, but hopefully his connection will be better later tonight, as he can join us then. Noel is from the Philippines. And we also have Suher Manto from Suher Manto, also known as Suhi Talk. So Suhi Talk, we can't hear you, but we can see you, which is good. It's a bit dark, but we can see you. And when it comes to your turn, maybe you can type out your questions as well. Yes, perfect. I see a thumbs up, which is good.
Sign language works.
Exactly. Sign language works. All right. So, Charles, you're supposed to be up first, but I guess since we can't hear you, I will read out your questions. Or would you like to type them out?
Pretty cool.
I'm Skyping with him as well, so. Oh,
Hello.
now we've got two views from Suher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Multiple views.
Multiple angles.
Exactly, right.
I'm using my phone. Can you hear me, everybody?
Oh, perfect. Yes,
Oh,
we can
good.
hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm using my phone. Okay.
I love
That's
it.
work. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Todd. Hello, Mitch. I'm so happy to
Hi.
meet you guys.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Nice to be able to hear you.
And then my question that there. How to watch you
Maybe,
is. Can you? Hello.
well, since we have Suher on the line, we'll mix up the format a bit. And Suher, do you want to start first and fire away with your any of the questions that you have for Mitch and Todd?
Okay. Uh, for my first question is for Todd. From the all contestant and you as a mentor on that reality show, who is the best, who is the better from your perception and from your opinion as a mentor? Can you hear me, Todd?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I just thinking, oh gosh, tough question, obviously. Um, because everybody came to the show at different levels or are wanting having different goals. So
Yes.
in some respects, you're looking at how they did as an individual, not necessarily against each other so much, even though there is a competition there at play. Um, I guess I would say more specifically, I'd speak about from the photographic perspective or fashion angle. Uh, and I think some of that is a little bit obvious, like we saw with Shiva. I think Shiva, even though he didn't carry on very, all the way through, Shiva is probably one of the best examples of what the show, I think, is all about. Where you see that transformation in him physically, I think even mentally, and from the fashion side, I mean, he looks. When you compare the first shoot we did with him to some of the last shoots we did with him, like I said it in elimination, that's a whole different dude. So I think what we saw from Shiva in his transformation is a really great example of the show, and I'm really proud of him. And I think he's one of the great contestants in that way. But of course, we saw a big change from Maddie. Also, we see this from Satira. And as a photographer, I guess I would say Maddie's quite photogenic, so he's a joy to shoot. Satira is also a joy to shoot. Christina's a joy to shoot. So you have those contestants that are standouts from the photography point of view. But Mitch would say the same thing. We kind of love them all because that was the idea for us there. I don't know if Mitch wants to add on to some thoughts there himself, but
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'd say from a photographic point of view, anyway.
Okay. Thank you. As now, Ciara and Gerard as my favorite on that show, and then my question is, how about Ciara and Gerard? And Gerard has been eliminated yesterday, and I'm so sad, but that should be happened yesterday. And then I just want to know, hello?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah, I just want to know from your opinion again about, especially for Ciara and Gerard, and what's your opinion with Gerard has been eliminated yesterday, and then how about the next of Ciara of in this reality show, and then for the next of your future? I think Ciara is the best mom for everyone that's watching this show. She become inspired for all people and for mom. And then that my question is, how about for you as a mentor, the next of Ciara in the next future of her, uh, with point of view of yours, Todd?
Of course, it's always sad anytime you see anybody go from the show. Absolutely never want anyone to actually leave. I think for Gerald, that was kind of the end of the road for him because maybe he wasn't as advancing as quickly as some of the others or seeing as big a transformation. He did, unfortunately, really struggle there in his last shoot which was both actually an issue for him and Satira, because they had a real challenge with that couple shoot. They didn't nail it like our Mitch did with Christina. So we definitely had a few points there for Gerald moving on. But when you talk about Satira, absolutely. Satira, as you said yourself, is such a great inspiration for everyone. Not only moms, not only married women or family-oriented people, or everybody, young and older alike, can really take a lot of inspiration from Satira, because she has not only the family responsibilities, the mom responsibilities, but no excuses being put in there on how she eats, how she puts in the time to exercise, how she even, I think, incorporates her family into that process to have a healthy family as well. So lots of inspiration can certainly come from Satira, and be a great example also of what the show is all about.
Thank you. Stephanie, can I ask again? Or there are some people want to ask to the judges?
Sure, go ahead.
For Mitch now. I'm so proud with your photo, and then I'm so happy looking your expression with Christina. That's a great, and thank you for Todd for taking the great picture of him, and that's all. They didn't know how about your feel with the Christina, and I want to ask you how about your feel with the with take a photo session with the Christina with the sexy photo and really hot for me. What do you feel? And then what in your head at that moment with the Christina?
Well, it was. I mean, first of all, it was a great shot. It was a great shoot. I had a lot of fun, stepping into a contestant's shoes, and competing in the challenge and the photo shoot. Todd did a wonderful job of making us feel comfortable, and then trying to get, I guess, really the story across, and having a connection with Christina to kind of give the best photo. So I'm not as experienced in the fashion element as a lot of these other guys, but I really enjoyed the experience, and it was just like kind of like acting. We were we were trying to capture the moment, and I was trying to do the best possible job for her, because I mean, ultimately it's her everything's on the line for her. I'm not going home at the end of the challenge, so if I screwed up her photo, that was a big deal for me. So I had a lot of pressure in the physical challenge and also during the photo shoot. So I was just trying to do the best possible job I could to give Todd some things he could work with, but then also to give Christina the best possible photo I could help her, out in that way too.
Wow, that's make me so happy that looking your photo.
I'm glad you're happy. Thank you.
That's how about the next? Are you join again? Oh no, that is not my question, right? Okay, Stephanie, there are another.
Okay. I'm definitely feeling a bit embarrassed right now. I'm very happy with both of your answers. So we finally have our other top fan, Noel, on the line. Noel, can you hear us?
Yes, but it's kind of choppy. It's breaking.
Okay, no worries. Well, we can hear you pretty clearly. So do you?
I believe it's running slow.
Sorry, what's running slowly? Is it lagging?
Yes, the connection, the internet connection. I don't know why, or maybe my computer.
Okay, well, do you want to fire away and ask any questions to Todd and Mitch while we can hear you and while your connection is good?
Okay. Actually, I am.
Suspense is killing me.
I know, right? Hello, Noel?
I think I saw him for a minute, a
Yeah.
second. Yeah.
Noel, are you still there? No? All right. Well, maybe we can jump on to our Charles. Charles, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Perfect. Hi, Charles.
Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi.
Breaking up a bit, but it's all right. So do you want to go ahead and do you have any questions for Mitch and Todd about the show?
Okay. Todd, I want to ask, like, which one is your most favorite photo shoot?
That's,
The favorite photo shoot. Well, one thing I gotta say is this is the first season, so it's kind of the first time we do this overall. So I really wanted to have the photo shoot stay strong all the way through, and I think I'm pretty happy how things have worked out. That if anything, the photo shoots just continue to get better and better. So that was a very nice, nice aspect for me that I'm very happy about. No doubt the last photo shoot we did was pretty intense. Had a lot going on. I really enjoyed how as couples they had to work together, and so that gave me a little bit something more to deal with. But I definitely like the shoot on the rocks because I think there was some really nice black and white body shots there, so that stands out for me as well. The warrior shoot stands out simply because the circumstances that we shot it under in the rain, and that was kind of a lot of fun for me overall, just running around shooting in the rain and trying to get the shot there. But I guess photo-wise, I would say probably the last shoot on the beach. We kind of ended there with a nice set of images I like quite a bit. And when I put them up, it seems that people have responded to really well. So that's also a nice thing.
Great.
Do you have like
I think
photo of the season? Maybe?
Review. Photo of the season? Well, if I go by fan sort of response, I can say photo of the season was a shot that I had with Vanessa and Maddie together. That one far exceeded the responses of people commenting and the likes, and people were really liked that shot and that moment a lot. Photo of the season that stands out for me when I don't know, when I just have a quick flash in my mind. I like Maddie's body shots from the black and white on the rocks, and Satira in that white outfit and where she chose to shoot with the colorful background. I think in that shoot, Satira looked her best overall. So that also is a standout image for me. It's a series of images there with Satira with the white dress.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was, I think, the one, the shoot where she really showed a more elegant side to her, right? Before it was
exactly.
Sexy.
Yeah, that was the shoot that, because I said it a few times, even in elimination or even actually straight to Satira as well, that Satira is quite photogenic and an attractive woman, so she can just stand there and look pretty good already. But what we're looking for, of course, is that development and how she might challenge herself and overcome those challenges. And so that was the first shoot that she really brought everything together. She always did pretty well, but this was the first shoot that she really stood out in.
Awesome. Charles, does that answer your question? Hello, Charles?
Yeah. Yeah. He answers my question. Can I ask again to Todd and Mitch?
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. How you doing?
Like, did you guys expect this finalist to be like the finalist to make far, or do you have like someone you think can make to the final but he or she is eliminated before?
You broke up a little bit on me there, but did I understand your question? You're asking me if I'm disappointed if I didn't see anybody there, or what do I think of the current group of finalists?
Hello, Charles. Can you repeat the question or maybe type it out in the chat?
Can you repeat? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, did you guys expect the finalists, the four finalists, to be make it this far, or do
Oh
you
man.
think someone deserves to be in the final?
You know, I think any of them, any of our contestants could have been a finalist. You know, I really feel that um, some of the transformations were pretty great, but I think the four that we have just made progress a little bit faster than the rest. You know, they really wanted it. Like you could see in every area, whether it was physical or fashion, we all kind of pushed very, very hard to get to the next level as quickly as possible. So I'm excited with the four that we have. I think they're great, and I'm really looking forward to the finale and seeing how everything kind of how they develop and how because they got some time. So I want to see what kind of changes they can make on their own, with Fitness First, and I think they're all training at the gyms, and it was exciting to see their whole transformation. I really enjoyed watching like Shiva and Gerald, even though they got eliminated. I think they could have done even better. Chelsea, I think she had an amazing transformation. Even Rusty and Andrew also did very well. So I think, but I do think the four that we have are definitely the cream of the crop, and very exciting for the finale. Does that answer it, kind of? Still there? No.
Charles? I have a feeling,
You got the
he dropped off.
I hope you heard me.
Well, don't worry. I mean, this is why we're recording, and we will broadcast away later. So, oh, here he comes back online. Hello, Charles? Charles? All right. No worries. I think I see him there. I don't hear him, but I guess we can continue. So the next blogger is Jed. So Jed can hear us, and he was viewing, but he can't seem to join the chat. So he sent me his questions, and then you guys can help me answer it.
Okay.
The first question is, everyone was shocked when Gerald Fu was eliminated on Thursday since he was such a strong contender. What were the judges' considerations? I would love to see Vanessa in the finale, but I would prefer Gerald over Maddie. So I guess this is a question for both Todd and Mitch.
Okay. Mitch, you want to take it first?
That's a tough question. That's hard. I think Gerald made some tremendous strides physically. I think he put on a good amount of muscle, and like you can see his body shape really develop in the weeks that we were in Tajongjara. He really had an impressive physique there at the end, but I don't think he was capturing the pictures the way that a lot of the others were. They were strong, because he was fit. But that's the idea. You have to be fit for fashion. So you have to be able to, use your physical presence to showcase the fashion. And he just wasn't making he wasn't as fast as the others when it came to a lot of the areas. Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think exactly what Mitch was saying there. Overall, I think a lot of the fans, they look at Gerald and they see those abs. And they go, man, that guy's ripped. He's fit. Like, physically, you can go, that he looks really, really good. He appears to be what fit for fashion is all about. And he also has a good look. He has like a model kind of look, too, so he looks good. But like Mitch also said earlier on, almost any of the contestants could have ended up in the final four here. It just depended on small things and how they responded or how they developed or what they did at times, for making these decisions. And I think for Gerald, his weakness overall, and he would probably even say this himself, is getting out of his comfort zone overall. Like he definitely saw that with Satira. He kind of saw that in his shoot that he did with the the shoot in the haunted forest shoot. Um, Even on the rocks, I gave him a little bit of trouble with the rocks shoot, black and white body shoot, for doing a bit of the duck lips thing. But I think overall comes down to his confidence level and having that confidence come out and show. Because I think for Gerald, he came in with a pretty decent body and he developed an even better body. But Gerald came in a little uncertain about himself. He had ideas, he had goals, but I think he was always somewhat hamstringing himself in reaching those goals. And perhaps for him, in the end, that was his shortcoming for not moving on, because he just couldn't get there faster to get over some of the maybe personal things that hold him back from really letting go.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Okay, so I think I'll ask the next question, which is, does it mean that Maddie will surely be one of the winners since he's the only male contestant left? I personally think that Maddie's a bit boring. Other than he's winning most of the physical challenges, there's nothing emotional about him. Do you guys have any words to say to defend Maddie and your decision?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Maddie's, to some viewers, coming across that way, which is a bit unfortunate for him if that's happening. I don't. If you spend more time with Maddie, I don't think Maddie is a boring individual. Quite dynamic kind of guy when you talk to him, for sure. I think he made it where he's made it because he did dominate quite a bit in the physical challenges. And when he had that whole makeover, I think that was a really big change for him. When they had the makeover, that really stepped up his overall game. And him going for it, really cutting off that hair and updating his look and getting current and looking more fashionable. Those are all strengths for him that played in his favor. And he looked good in his shots, and probably what really brought it together was him and Vanessa in their last shoot together, just really nailing that trust overall, because you have to really trust your partner to be able to let go that much in front of the camera with them. And of course, there's the intimacy aspect that they really nailed in the images and photos, even though they're just friends. So I think
thanks for clarifying that.
Yes, they're just friends, but they did a good job, as would be asked if they were trying to be professional models. And in the brief of the shoot, they really followed through and told their story. So I think those were pluses for Maddie in particular.
Yeah, I think, Maddie's word, he was, a bit of an enigma. Like, he kind of held a lot back, so you really didn't get to see his true personality. But, as Todd was saying, once you start to talk to Maddie and you start to understand, where he's coming from and his background and his history, he's actually a pretty dynamic and exciting guy. I really like Maddie. I think he's a tremendous person. He's really into personal development and trying to become the best person he can be. You saw it on the rocks when they climbed the waterfall. How caring Maddie was. When he went out, when he went to help Chelsea. He talked her through it. He does that all the time. He really wants the rest of the contestants to truly reach their personal best as well. So he's a really emotional and caring individual. And he's, maybe he's just not letting that come across on the show a way that other people are being expressive. But To answer your question, if he does, just because he's the only guy in the final, is he definitely going to be in the finale? No, it's not, because Satira is an absolute terror when it comes to the physical challenges, and Vanessa and Christina are only getting better. So it's fit for fashion. Anything can happen, so you just got to stay tuned and, root for your favorite person to do their best.
Yeah, no, I completely agree about Maddie. I mean, I think Maddie, I've also spoken to Maddie. Maddie is the nicest guy in the world, super emotional, super genuine, and really just, friendly guy overall. I think, there's a lot of stuff that viewers don't really see in TV because there's so much footage there, but, you only have an hour to go. So perhaps that's why his emotional side isn't coming through. But I think also it is an emotional journey that Maddie is going through as well, right?
He's not as nice as Mitch, though.
Yeah, of course, not as nice as Mitch. The connection was just as strong, I thought, that Mitch had with Christina. I mean, I thought that connection was pretty much as strong as the connection Maddie had with Vanessa. No?
With Christina's shoot and Mitch's shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Christina tweeted something the other day that Mitch was pulling her hair. And I said, I don't know.
Really? I missed that.
Don't think so.
All right, so we've got a couple more questions, and specifically, so Jed wants to know, are you working out as hard as the contestants? Good question.
Of course, you got to set the example. So, I mean, the contestants had definitely had a tremendous set of workouts that they had to complete on a daily basis. We had one workout in the morning that nobody got to see. It was purely for them. It was like 5:30 in the morning. Nobody got to see this workout. It was completely for the contestants to make, the extra push. And then I got some time off. So while they were shooting, the fashion stuff, when I wasn't a part of it, I was in the gym doing my own thing with Christine. So we definitely tried to get our workouts in. And I know Todd is an absolute animal, waking up at the crack of dawn to get his runs in every morning, and he hits the gym even just as hard, if not harder than I do. So.
Great. Todd, how about you? Are you working as hard as the contestants?
Yeah. Well, I guess physical fitness is really part of my overall lifestyle as it is, so I would really miss it if I wasn't doing that. I think Mitch and I both hope that we look like we're working out and contestants are, that's for sure. But yeah, I do my morning runs like Mitch mentioned, which is a really big joy for me. It's the start of my day. I feel completely different if I don't do my morning runs. So I have my morning runs in there, and I'm in the gym at least 4 times a week. But I would say during the filming of the show, we actually went to the gym pretty much every day, keeping ourselves in fighting form. So Mitch and I are both very into physical fitness and a big part of our lives, and we're certainly not just talking it and not walking it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we've got one last question from Jed, which I'll ask. Actually, sorry, 2 more questions. The first question is to Todd and Mitch. Who's your favorite female contestant?
Did you say what's your favorite female contestant?
Who is your favorite female contestant?
Okay. Oh, are we allowed to say that?
No, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. You don't have to pick your favorites at all.
I don't know, Mitch might have an answer already, but
no worries. We can.
I guess I showed it in the show a little bit that I'm a little pro Satira on the looks department, so yeah.
No, I mean, all of the contestants, female and male, they all have their strengths and their weaknesses, right? And I'm sure everyone, I know I have my favorite. I won't disclose who it is, but I definitely have my favorite as well. All right, so one last question that Jed has is actually a personal question. He goes, I am definitely overweight with a lot of fat on my tummy. I have to admit that I don't work out quite often. Fit for Fashion has inspired me to be fitter. How should I start? Which exercise should I begin with? So, Mitch, do you want to take this one?
Oh man, well,
That sounds like a Mitch question.
that is great to hear. I'm so happy to hear that this show inspired you to get into the gym, to even start thinking about making a transformation. That's really incredible, and that's what I really hope this show does for a lot of people. It gives them the opportunity to do the next level in their personal development. But one of the easiest exercises that you can start doing is just planking. You know, just getting on your elbows and your toes and holding yourself off the ground. It's like getting in a push-up position, but you're on your elbows instead, and just trying to keep your posture nice and straight, and just holding it for a minute or so. That's a great core exercise. You can build up to doing it as long as you can, but it's a great way to just start getting some physical activity into your day. And a lot of people, when they get started doing exercise, they don't really get the right advice, or they do exercises that are wrong for them. So making sure you get with a qualified professional, and getting started that way to making sure you have the right education. Fitness First has some incredible personal trainers. I know because I've developed the personal trainers there. So I can make sure if you get into a Fitness First gym, I'll be more than happy to get you some good education.
That's great advice, Mitch. And Jed, if you're listening, just Skype me afterwards, and perhaps I can offer you a Fitness First free trial after this. So, one last question from Charles. He can see us and we can see him, but he thinks the connection is quite bad, so I'll probably just ask the question for him. He goes, how did they choose the MVP? We only got 2 MVPs. Is it supposed to be a weekly reward or no? Todd, do you want to take a crack at this, or?
I'm just thinking, yeah, it kind of went that way, which is, I think, interesting. I think part of it was that it's such a dynamic show as well that they want to keep people guessing. So they kept, even keeping the contestants guessing, keeping the audience guessing. So I think that was perhaps, anyway, one of the features of that, so that people weren't relying on getting VIP or MVP. So I think it was just a wild card sort of thing. I think
exactly. And I mean, I think just throughout the show, there's been so many twists and different surprises. There's always with Fit for Fashion, right?
Yeah, so that it wasn't formulated that every episode it's like A, then B happens, and C happens. The audience starts to know it. The contestants start to know it. I think part of the idea there really was, keep people guessing, keep things fresh, and you never know what might happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, definitely, like I said, there was, every week there was a surprise, and even the non-elimination week was a total surprise.
Yes, yeah.
So just, how did you guys go about choosing the MVP? Was there like a deliberation on your end? Was it a point system?
I think that generally what happened is that all 4 of us got together and there was a round table conversation on feedback on how people were doing in their overall. Of course, generally I was commenting on how they did in their shoot, and Mitch and Christine were commenting how they did in their workout, and Louise had a feel of how she oversaw all of that. That was generally how that was approached anyway, and who we felt collectively was the MVP.
Okay, cool. Mitch, do you have anything to add before we move on to our other top fan?
The thing with the MVP is that it was a very unique twist to the plot of it, and when somebody really went above and beyond, certain qualities, that's when we issued it. I don't necessarily think it was something that was supposed to be done every week. I think it was just kind of a one-off sort of thing to highlight those individual contributions or success that individual contestant had for that particular week. So it was just like a highlighting or a celebration for what that person accomplished.
Yep. Well said. So Noel, I believe you're next. Noel is our other top fan. Can you hear us? It's very strange.
You can hear the kitchen.
Alright. I think he's on mute.
Yeah, it looks like the mic there is off, yeah.
But Noel, I think you need to unmute. Alright. No worries. Well, while he figures that out, I actually have some questions from fans that we've kind of gathered across during the course of the show. And these are questions sourced from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I've got some specific questions for you guys and some general questions, so you guys can go ahead and take turns to answer. So the first question is, in your opinion, what really saves Vanessa every week? What's her edge over Gerald? And I think this is regarding the latest episode.
You want to take that one first, Mitch?
Well, I think it was. I mean, you can kind of see that she really wants this. She definitely put her heart and her soul into every single opportunity. She may not have fared so well sometimes, but I think her improvement in the fashion aspect is definitely there. And I think she may not be coming along physically as well as Gerald, or she might not look as defined as Gerald does, but you can definitely see her desire to truly reach that next level in the fashion. And I think her fashion ability is better than Gerald's physical attributes. What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, no, I think that, as Mitch was saying, that it's not always purely just so obvious, like looking at their bodies, because like I mentioned earlier on, it's each person had an individual journey. So some people, like Gerald, he maybe came in wanting to develop a little bit more size and get maybe more defined abs, or maybe somebody like Vanessa came in and she perhaps was looking at slimming and trimming and toning a little bit. So it's not always just exactly looking one for one at each other's bodies. It's certainly considering what they did physically as an individual, but definitely, I think like Mitch was also saying, is that Vanessa overcame her personal challenges. There's a lot of things for her mentally that she had to sort of, those hurdles that she got over that make a difference for her, and how much she wanted it. And if we're speaking specifically about the last episode, for sure, I think there's no doubt that both Vanessa and Maddie, but Vanessa certainly really came out in that episode to nail that shoot and that brief and show what she could do in front of the camera, show her level of confidence. She showed a heck of a lot of confidence in front of the camera there. So I think those are the differences between her and Gerald, especially if you look at the last shoot. I mean, in the last shoot, Vanessa really shone where it was a real struggle for Gerald. So that played out there in that way for sure.
Yeah, but I think also Lou mentioned something like you guys kind of view it on a week-to-week basis, right? Who has improved that week? So is that right?
Well, to a certain extent, but I'm just speaking for myself 100% here, is when I thought of them overall, I was just thinking of them firstly as individuals, what their individual challenges are, how they've either overcame them or been consumed by them, and then how that's played out throughout the course of the 10 weeks. And that's the way I kind of see it. But yes, I guess no doubt you could be doing really well, and then have a couple of physical challenges or a couple of bad photo shoots that really knock you down in the rankings, where people pull ahead of you in that sense. Yes, I would say that's true.
Yep, no, definitely. And this is why it's so important for them to kind of bring their A game week to week, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. They can't just go, oh well, I'm so good right from the start, and then kind of cruise their way through. They definitely, and I think that, as you just said there yourself, that's one thing with Vanessa. She kept bringing it, kept bringing it, kept bringing it. She had a few teary moments. She had a few almost breakdown moments for her, but she got up and kept bringing it, kept bringing it. That really shows a lot of character.
Yep, totally agree. All right, I saw Noel in just now, and then he kind of just jumps it back out. So I'll just keep asking until he comes back in. So Mitch, this one's for you. So is it hard to switch on that shouting motivator mode that you go into, and how do you find the discipline to be a motivator?
Oh man, good question. I necessarily don't think I switch it on or switch it off. It's just kind of the way that I train. I've been doing personal training and fitness and coaching for about 15, 16 years now, and it's because it is definitely, there's the entertainment aspect of training somebody. You need to make the hour or 90 minutes that you spend with them as entertaining as possible, and to make them kind of enjoy the experience of torture. So I like to think that it is fun, to work out with me, and I do make the experience as joyful and as exciting as possible. But I've also tried to find ways. In the 15 years that I've been doing this, I've studied nutrition and science and all the biologies and physics and all this stuff. But what I really realize that's important is the psychology of this. It's one thing to tell somebody all the best things that they can eat and the great exercises they can do, but to make them want to be better, to find their hot button, to find areas in them that they didn't know they could reach. They didn't know they could reach that next level, and they've never, a lot of people go through life and they've never truly reached their full potential. And I've just become completely obsessed with helping people realize, what they're capable of. And you can see it in the way that I teach, and it's not really anything I turn off or on. It's just kind of the way that I am. And I really, truly love what I get to do every day. And this show just kind of captured that, in one of the best ways I've ever seen. I really like being part of this experience, and I hope to help lots of other people achieve their personal best.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think we saw it also in last week's episode when you were pushing Gerald really, really hard, and Gerald, he really did not want to disappoint you, He genuinely just wanted to do his best because he didn't want you to be upset or, disappointed. So, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It works.
Thank you. I'll keep doing it.
I guess another question we have for you is, who was your favorite contestant to train in the workout sessions?
Oh, man, that's an impossible question to answer. I liked different aspects of every single person. I actually really enjoyed seeing Chelsea work out because she was so uncoordinated. She had no real motor skills, to work with. It was, it was a unique sort of challenge to work with her. Vanessa was, she wasn't used to hard training. Like, she wasn't like a previous, like an intense exerciser, so she just kind of fell off. I really liked training Satira because you could see just this warrior inside of her that, when she was like a soldier. You told her to do it and she didn't complain about it. She was ready, whether it was 5:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock at night, she was ready to get down. Matty was an absolute beast because he just got better and better, and every single time he worked out. Gerald was a lot of fun because he physically changed so fast, But even guys like Shiva, who just really wanted it, and Rusty, who had the previous military background, So I can't say that I have a favorite. I mean, it's just like Todd picking a favorite photo. That's darn near impossible. But I like training every single one of them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And Todd, there's a similar question coming your way from another fan asking, which contestant was really hard to work with in the fashion shoot?
Hmm. Ooh, God. Yeah. I'm just running through my mind right now. All the photo shoots are going through my mind. I gotta say, from the start, I'm used to shooting models in doing the fashion and advertising photography work that I generally do. So from the start, I honestly didn't have high expectations for them because I realized none of these people are coming in saying they really want to be a model or they have any sort of modeling experience really outside of Christina, which I did actually have a little bit higher expectations for Christina since she did say she had modeling experience. So
Yeah.
I think that even relates to how we look at each individual and how they carry through. So if she came in with some modeling experience, then of course I expect a little bit more from her than
Yeah.
perhaps the others. So that the point there for me is just I was super happy on the first photo shoot that we did on how everyone gave so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought, okay, I'm just gonna have to be patient and calm, which I generally am, and there you're gonna have to, just really guide them through and realize they're not gonna give me a lot like a professional model would. We're gonna have to develop those moments. I might even have to go and pose them a little bit to get the shot, but that really wasn't the case. They are all like, I told them to do something and they just went for it and they did it, and they were giving me a lot of energy. They were giving me a lot of expressions. They were taking advice so well. Like I was just really happy, excited, and amazed by all of that. So I really, okay, you're gonna say that even Fred wasn't so much into the fashion element, and yeah, no doubt you could probably critique that Fred could have given a little more in his photo shoot. I only had the opportunity to, unfortunately, shoot him one time because he did have a kind of allergic reaction that put him out of shooting the Warrior shoot. I think Fred probably would have done really well in the Warrior shoot. That probably would have been an element that he could have really got into. But I guess, they all did so well. They all gave a lot.
Yeah.
They all were real professionals in that sense. Nobody gave me any trouble.
I mean, just also looking at all the photos, all of them really do look like semi-professionals, And I mean, I don't know how long it took for you to kind of get that out from them, but the output definitely seemed quite effortless, I have to say.
So I think that's also an amazing point, really, because generally when you're shooting anybody, but even professional models, I don't know, say we're doing 10 outfits, the first 2 looks, which is maybe the first half an hour, 45 minutes, people are generally warming up and getting into it, and not often the best shots coming from that. The best shots come on a little bit later on. But here, we had like 7 to 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes for them to get a shot, to give me something to shoot. So in that way, they did extremely well. All of them did.
10 minutes, that's it.
Yeah, like we are on a timer. Like, okay, 8 minutes, just shoot, bang, bang, bang. I'm generally pretty active in my shoots anyway. I didn't just put that, like Mitch was saying about for his personal training. He didn't just put that on for the show. I didn't just like roll around in the sand for the show purposes. I'm generally shooting like that, but the 10 minutes really makes you like, you don't care if you're running into a tree or running into the water or where you are. You're just so trained on trying to get that moment.
Yeah, great. So another question is, which contestant had a personal fashion style that you liked? It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Wow. I'm also zipping through here really quickly. Part of it was, of course, they were styled for their shoots, so how they wore the clothes could be certainly a consideration. And Maddie sort of stands out there a little bit on on how he wore the clothes, especially once he went for that makeover and cut his hair. Shiva also, though, once he cut his hair and shaved his chest, had him all dialed up. He was looking really good. Like I don't know, I just go again when I see that first shot of Shiva against the boat, and to the last couple shoots with Shiva, and his style really came together there. Whether he walked in with that style, that's another question, I suppose. But I did like how he was looking for sure. And then for the girls, well, Christina always had a sort of a style and a look going on. There, I think part of her personal challenge was maybe how she directed her say sexuality or energy or aggressiveness. But outside of that kind of question, just her overall style, I think Christina also generally had a nice style going on.
Mitch, do you have a personal favorite? Any of the contestants have a personal style that you like?
Well, I thought Shiva. I mean, he was obviously very business oriented in his sort of his fashion sense. Like Todd, I thought Maddie had a bit of a swagger to him that he kind of pulled off pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I also thought Satira had a very sort of carefree sort of fashion sense to her that I kind of enjoyed. So.
Okay, so we got one more question before we wrap up, and this is from Jed, which is, did you guys, like the judges, know each other before the show?
No. Simple answer. When we for me personally, when we found out about the show, it was like Google. Okay, who's that guy?
Yeah. Who is
and then following on social media so you could stalk them for a while first. Okay, who are we going to be working with here?
Yeah.
No idea. Haven't met anybody, but I can't believe that I got so lucky to be partnered with such great people, and I would hang out with them as often as I could, and I really think I found 3 friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, I hope.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like Mitch said, not knowing each other, we gelled so well together. Everyone having, I don't know, this is a kind of perfect group of characters mixed together, and we do really get along on camera and off camera like equally. So it's fantastic.
And I've seen the behind the scenes. I see you guys goofing around back there, while we set.
Yeah. No, we definitely have a good time.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, so I want to thank Mitch and Todd for taking the time to join our first ever Hangout session. Really happy that you guys took the time, and I really appreciate it, and I know the bloggers and the fans do as well. And of course, I want to thank our title sponsor, Fitness First. So just want to thank everyone again, and remember to watch the finale episode of Fit for Fashion on Thursday, December the 18th.
Next week.
At 9:40 exactly, Hong Kong time next week, and join us for a live Twitter session as well. So thank you guys so much. Good night.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much, Fit for Fashion.
Thank you.
You.